All right, got the shift motor disassembled. There's the fork. There's the vacuum actuator. I'll show you that in a minute. There's the C-clips or E-clips or whatever. I've already cleaned the housing. Had to get in there with some little wire brushes. And one of these holes, yeah, you can see that hole right there still has some residue from the broken off bolt, so I'm going to drill that out next and probably leave that broken off bolt that's in the axle as a pin, maybe a guide pin. I don't think I need to drill that out because I'll have 3 bolts. 3 points makes a plane, 2 points makes a line. I'll have a plane. This is cast, not stamped. It'll pull it down just fine. We're not trying to contain. It's on the upper side, so we're not really trying to contain a liquid. So I think we'll be fine. I'm not going to worry about drilling that out. The fork has a little bit of that residue right there. The same stuff. It's basically ferrous oxide, you know. And then there's the offending. Now, interesting, it wasn't on the bottom in the housing. It was on one side only, and there it is. Now, I thought that this push rod was stainless steel, but it's pretty cruddy. I'm going to try to get that stuff off. Tried to scrape it with a screwdriver, but really wasn't having much success, so I'm going to try a wire brush. But anyway, there's the motor or the vacuum actuator. There's the O-ring in good shape. All the clips are in good shape. I didn't lose one. You know how they go flying sometimes, but no, I didn't lose it. And the bearings on the fork are still good enough. I don't think four-wheel drive's been used a whole lot in this truck. These bearings are in fine shape. All right. First, I'm going to drill out that hole and then start working on this rust removal. All right. You can see it's pitted. But it's cleaned up. Look at that pitting. And the fork. A little pitting too, but cleaned up. So I don't have a rebuild kit for this right now, but I can get one later. I want to see if I can get this one working. I know in the future if it happens again, I know what it is and I can rebuild it. It's very, very easy. So I'm going to go ahead and get this back together. Also, I think I just saw a delivery. I think it's going to be headlights for the 73. So, yep. go out and take a look. So it's going to be LEDs for the 73. It's going to brighten up the night. Okay, we are assembled. E-clips, C-clips, whatever, they're back in. I put a little silicone glide on the O-ring. See it falling? It just fell down on its own. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of gear oil. I'm going to lube everything with some gear oil, because that's what's in the diff. I went ahead and put a little gear oil in there. Got the shaft lubed, and now I'm going to go ahead, put the switch back on. I put a little silicone glide on that O-ring. Get the proper wrench for that one. Okay, let's suck the fork towards the bell. Okay. All right. Hang on. Change out. Now let's suck and change out the input. Now let's suck the fork all the way back. I added an extra couple pumps, so it's gliding nicely. Now I want to test the switch. So let me hook up an ohm meter. It's just a push button switch. When the button's not pushed, the switch is an open circuit. Try to lean this up. The tip of the switch is right there. You can see it right there. Little silver thing. All right, when this shaft moves all the way forward, okay, there's the back. Okay, the tip of the switch, you can see it right in there. When the shaft moves all the way forward to engage the axle, see there it's pushing. See, there it's pushing the switch. And when it pushes the switch, it closes the switch, completes a circuit to the dashboard, turns a light on the dash that says four-wheel drive is engaged. So we should be, and I've had problems with this switch in the past. So let's go ahead and pull this back. Okay, it's an open circuit. That's what over means. When I push this in all the way and then push hard, there we go. 3 ohms. Now I let go, over, I push in, 1 ohm, 0.7 ohms, so the switch is working. It appears to be working. Okay, let's try that again. Over. I'm going to push in, engage the switch, 0.4 ohms. Let go, over, push, 0.3 ohms. Let go, over. So that switch appears to be working. Because, you know, this gear oil sloshes around in the axle. It lubricates this thing and lubricates the gears that are right here. And if you don't use four-wheel drive often, then that system up here just doesn't get lubricated, or doesn't move around to peel off the crust, doesn't go into that little hole there to constantly eradicate the crust, maybe. So I'm just going to have to, you know, and I don't use four-wheel drive that often, so I'm just going to have to engage it, exercise the four-wheel drive system from time to time, which is good to do anyway, because you want to keep the front differential lubed and that sort of thing, keep the axles lubed. So I think the lesson is to, when you get a chance, you're on a gravel road or something, even if you don't need four-wheel drive, use it anyway. Get things moving around. All right. I'm going to get this reinstalled. Okay. Guess I'm not. I already cleaned up some of the parts here. I guess I'm not, because look at the condition of the hardware. I need new hardware. That one there is going to be ready to snap the next time. I need new hardware, but in terms of what I think about this whole process, there you go, right there. But I got the shield. This is for the brake line. Clamp for the brake line. The rock guard brake line. All right, need new hardware, so I'm going to wrap this up, get new hardware. Okay, now we're working on lights on the 73. Don't think I'm going to need this adapter, because we'll get back to the 85 as soon as I get some new hardware. All right, so I pulled off the connector and plugged it into the new headlight. Let's see. Wonder if I need the keys for this. Nope. All right. Ooh, that's bright. There's the low beam. Ooh, that's bright. There's the high beam. Can't tell on that one. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. She's working. Okay. All right. That's one. Let me test the other one before I install them, in case it doesn't work. Okay, here's what it looks like. There's a retainer ring. And then there's the outer trim. There's the old bulb. Here's the new one. And that's DOT SAE, and that's upward. That's how the retainer goes. And looks like a good fit. Let me go ahead and get that in there. Okay. Here's what it looks like. Without the trim. Okay, let's go ahead and get the trim on. It's gonna be hard to tell until nighttime, but I like the look. Okay, you see how bright they are? That's on high beam. Here's the connection. Yeah, I like the look. Works like a champ. All right. I'm not going to put the trim on this one yet, but while I was in there, if you can see it, I lubed up the retainer ring hardware as well as the light adjusting screws. Did that on the other side too. Little WD. They were kind of sticky. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to try to do, if possible, let's just see if it's even possible. I'm going to try to just do a fine adjustment on the left to match the right. They were pretty well adjusted before. I don't know if I can see where they're hitting here. Okay. Looking good. Okay, going to get that hardware now for the axle shift motor, taking to 73. getting ready to install this thing. I'm gonna install it with the collar retracted in the two-wheel drive position, the fork and the collar up here. Let me go ahead and get that collar where it needs to be. Okay, collars all the way over in two-wheel drive. I better do a test fit, make sure it fits before I put any gasket sealer on there. Yep. All right. Goes right on there. Clean that. There's an existing gasket on here. Make sure it's clean before I put I'll show you what I'm going to put on there. I have a number of choices, but I'm going to use black. Now, I'll let this thing drain out some of its oil, some of its gear oil. This cleaned up again. Okay. I had some off-brand stuff, but I went ahead and bought Permatex. Permatex Ultra Black. That's what I'll be using. Be right back. My camera cut off when I was putting that on, but there we go. I leaned my camera against something, I guess it turned it off, so there we go. Finger tighten. Went away about an hour. About an hour. Then we're going to tighten. And then we'll get everything hooked up. Give it a test. Normally you wait 24 hours, but that cover's not holding fluids. So I'll give it a test in about an hour. Maybe two. We'll see. Oh man. Alright, now that it's been about 45 minutes, I want the bolts up there are finger tight. I want to remove the two front ones and get the shield up, the middle finger shield, and then the rock guard brake line bracket. Let's get those back on. I'll show you what that looks like. And go on the front. Right there on the front, you see the brake line running below it. Alright, let's get that on there. Okay. That's what it looks like. There's that brake line tab holder support. And there's the shield for the shift motor. And I'm gonna let the Permatex harden another 15-20 minutes before I tighten it down and get everything connected. All right, let's do a vacuum pump test. Got the vacuum pump hooked to the inbound port. You can see when I rotate the left wheel, the right wheel's not rotating. Now I'm going to apply roughly 20. I'll start rotating. Oh, this wheel, left wheel, and the right wheel is rotating. Differential's locked. Now I'm going to release the vacuum. Change the port to the outbound port. This wheel's rotating. That one's not. Okay. The fork and collar are working. That was from my manual vacuum pump. There's the switch I got to hook up. I can go ahead. Let's see. Put the phone down. I have golf tees. Inside the vacuum lines, and those damn things are stuck because there's vacuum holding them in. I'm going to need to get a pick to relieve that vacuum. Okay, we're connected. Electrical switch, vacuum, or torqued down. It's my socket I gotta pull off. New hardware. Ready for a test. We are in two-wheel drive now. Let me go wash my hands. All right, you're seeing it live with me. Let's give it a second. Okay, we are in two-wheel, too high. Can fast idle. Rear-wheel drive only. I can tell you the wheels are spinning in the rear. Okay. Let me go back to park. 4 high. The light is on. Children, the light is on. That's the switch. Okay. Let's go see all 4 wheels spinning. Oh my God. It's working. This one's spinning faster. That one's slow, but the differential is differentiating. See, I can almost stop one of them because it's an open differential. Now the rear end has limited slip. I'm not going to do that to the rear end. Now I'm going to bring them to a stop and start it again, and you'll see both wheels spinning fast. Because I gave them a clean start, but the front end's an open differential, so one of the wheels will start spinning slower than the other one eventually, depending on which one has more drag. The one that has the most drag will slow down. The one with the most traction. That's what open differentials do. Look at that. Now we go back to park. Now watch this. I'm gonna push this forward. The light is out. The light is on. The light is out. And now we're in 2 high. Nothing. Fixed. Fixed. On. Off. On. Off. I'm just going to exercise it a little bit just to get it lubed. And okay, the next step, what I really need to do is check the axle fluid, the differential fluid. You don't need to see that. Well, maybe I'll do that as the final step. I'll show you how to do that, or how I do it. It's working, folks. Let's call it a day. I'm hot. Oh, yes, I am. It is hot. It is hot. It is hot. Okay, let's get a look at it. No leakies. Nothing has changed. We are set, folks. Let's call it a day. I'll check the diff fluid tomorrow, and we'll give the truck a couple tilts to get some fluid in those in the axle shafts as well. No, we'll do that tomorrow. Stereo Police. Ciao.